You done screwed me up, Google. Are you trying to tick me off? I literally made a tweet thanking Google, which is not something I ordinarily do. Yes, a lot of you were concerned that my account was hacked, but genuinely, I just feel like there's not enough positivity on the internet. Everything is negative and it's all about bad news, to the point that I like thanking people publicly. And whether it be a YouTuber or a company, there's a lot of things I don't like that Google does, but one thing I really appreciated was Google Photos. I've been using it ever since 2015, and recently they decided to take away my favorite part about it right after I made that tweet. Thank you, Google. So I'll be explaining why they screwed me up and how complicated digitizing our memories is going to be. Let's begin. So in case you weren't aware, way back in 2015, Google announced that they would have free, unlimited backup for all of your photos and videos on Google Photos, which was on day one available for iOS, Android, and the web. And they would let you store photos up to 16 megapixels, which if you didn't know the resolution of that image, that's close to 5,000 pixels by 3,000 pixels. And by the point we were in with iPhones in 2015, our cameras were not taking 16 megapixel images. And honestly, most of our cameras in our smartphones these days are normally not taking 16 megapixel images, and if you did upload a larger image than that, they would just compress it down. And personally, that is print quality. That is extremely high quality imagery, and the fact that it was free was amazing, and it would back up stuff in the background was great. And I started using it right away, even though the tech channel here was barely a thing in 2015. As soon as they announced that, I was so impressed because they also included videos, which are way larger than photos, and they would even let you store them at 60 frames a second, or I think even more if you filmed in slow-mo. And I thought this was an amazing thing because it was just a perfect dumping ground for all of the photos and videos that I didn't want to store locally, either because my hard drive was filling up or I didn't want to have to buy more storage. Now there's this really easy to access app that I can shove everything onto. And yes, I know Google Photos is much less secure than iCloud Photos. Don't get me wrong. I'm completely aware that iCloud, even though it was hacked in the past, but that was mainly because people weren't using two-factor authentication, iCloud encrypts the photos into a code that cannot be written. And while iCloud does actually use the same Google servers, so it is kind of being stored all in the same place. So if your concern is one day, all of your Google photos are going to get erased by some freak accident, guess what? iCloud Photos would probably get hit by that attack too. But Google Photos are not stored in an encrypted manner, so if you care about your privacy or making sure that no one sees your photos and videos, Google Photos is probably not the safest way to go. But I don't keep all of my incriminating and career-ending photos and videos on the internet. No, that's what I have a Polaroid for. No, just kidding. I don't have a Polaroid. But either way, all of those personal and incriminating photos is not what I was worried about, mainly because I don't have any, and I'm trying to think of something that would end my career. But what was filling up lots of space on my computer as someone who's been making videos and making content long before 2015 was I want to retain my memories, right? I have taken tons of pictures over the years, probably tens of thousands, coming up on 100,000 photos between family vacations, videos from high school of me going on band trips, or videos of old movies I used to make with me and my friends. I wanted to preserve all those if I want to go back and watch them later. It is kind of a data hoarding addiction at the same time, but if it's free, what's the harm in that, right? It's like, oh, there's nothing in this that is super personal or revealing, so I don't care if on some server or some algorithm is analyzing all these photos and videos. That's fine. You can analyze them all you want. I just want to be able to watch them later. That's what Google Photos was great for. 1080p, which is good enough. 4K was not super common back in 2015. It's become more common now, but honestly, preserving my memories in 1080p was good enough for me because I was like, okay, most of my videos are 1080 at 60 in the first place, and also the difference between 4K and 1080, especially when shot on a smartphone, it's kind of hard to tell the difference anyway. So if I'm gonna go relive memories from years and years ago, 1080p is good enough. I don't need them to be, blasted on a 4K screen. I'm probably just gonna be scrolling through my phone one day. And a lot of people forget that Google Photos introduced some features before iCloud Photos did that were really innovative and truly groundbreaking. I'm bringing this up as they're taking it away, but Google Photos could auto-tag a bunch of faces from your pictures and compile them into one library, and it can even grab video files that it detects people being in, and I've been very impressed by this over the past few years of using the service. There have been times where there would be a picture of me at like 4 years old, and it was able to register that that was me by comparing it to a photo of today. So there could be like years and years between between two pictures and it would be like, this baby, yeah, that's you. Even though you got a beard and lots more hair now, we can tell that's the same person. It was a scary good algorithm, and they allowed you to directly search through photos with specific tags like look through food, or look through snowstorm, or look through cars, or bridges, or sky photos, or night photos. And that kind of thing was not on Apple Photos for a while. I know we have it now and we kind of take it for granted, but Google was kind of the pioneer with that kind of next generation algorithm training of finding your picture. So anyway, Google Photos is awesome, but of course the bad news that I wanted to get to is they have now announced they're going to be ending that unlimited storage option as of June 1st, 2021. So a little over 6 months from now, and the somewhat good news is that we're not going to have to download everything we've been backing up over the years. So some people were acting like this was the apocalypse and Google screwed everybody over, and they kind of did in a way, but I will give them credit to the point that you still get to keep all of these photos and videos we've backed up over the years. It's just that once we start uploading photos and videos after June 1st, it's going to start counting towards our Google One storage. So I think we can partially blame Apple for this and iCloud storage, but after June 1st, all of the photos and videos you've backed up can stay there at no additional charge. But if you want to keep uploading photos and videos, you're going to have to start paying for a storage plan, and none of them are unlimited, which I find quite a giant 180 for Google to be like, 1 second, yeah, there's no limit, you can upload as many photos and videos as you want. Next minute, 2 terabytes is the maximum, unless you want to pay for, deep 20 terabyte, 30 terabyte Google storage, which is several $100s a month, and I don't think people are going to want to do that. But the main default plans that they advertise to consumers start with 15 gigs, which is, compared to other industry standards, not terrible. I mean, it's 3 times what iCloud offers. And I will say that Google One pricing is fairly similar to iCloud storage, but I will admit Google's is a little bit better because, for one, they offer annual charges, so you can just pay once a year and you'll save money that way. And they also have a 100 gig plan for $2 a month, which Apple does not have, and I think a lot of people would probably go for that. But then, similar to iCloud, they also have a $3 a month plan at 200 gigs, and then a $10 a month plan at 2 terabytes, which is pretty similar to Apple, except Apple does not offer the once a year option, which can save you between 16 to 70% if you plan on paying for this in the long haul. So for 2 terabytes, it's $100 a year, 200 gigs, it's $30 a year, and 100 gigs is $20 a year. So that's a bit better if you're doing a direct apples to apples comparison of iCloud photos to Google, but if you care about privacy and security, Apple encrypts those photos. And while there haven't been a ton of Google Photos hacks, Google is just notoriously known for not being that secure with photos. But I, for one, was quite annoyed by this, because if you've been keeping up with the tech podcast, I've been trying to get out of as many monthly subscriptions as possible. I'm just kind of overwhelmed with how many there are these days, and I think that they're all trying to chip away at our bank accounts as much as possible. So I've been paying for 2 terabytes of iCloud storage for several years, just because I take lots of pictures and videos, and I didn't mind them being backed up and stored in the cloud, and they actually get to be preserved at 4K at 60, and they're easy to access with the default Photos app on my iPad and iPhone and that kind of thing. So I'd been paying for quite a while for 2 terabytes at $10 a month, $120 a year, and I just decided that, you know what, I'm probably going to fill up these 2 terabytes. I had already passed the 1 terabyte mark, and Google Photos was free and unlimited, and I was like, okay, well, that's definitely a lot cheaper, and I could save some money if I just worked on routing more of my iCloud photos over to Google Photos, and then downgrading my iCloud plan to around 200 gigs, which would be $3 a month. That way I would save around $7 a month. In the long term, it's close to $80 a year. So I still use iCloud for certain file sharing things. And either way, I'm just trying to lower my monthly expenses, because I think that's something everybody should do. And we should all quickly analyze, where's our money going? And is there services we're being charged for that we forget about? Because that's what a lot of companies are making big bucks on right now. You not utilizing your services. Anyway, I moved everything over to Google Photos, and I was able to downgrade my iCloud. And just as I did that, just as I finally switched everything over, and I was like, cool, I'm saving money. Now I don't have to worry about photo and video storage. I don't care that they're not at 4K. 1080 is good enough for me. That's right when Google announces, sorry, we're going to be ending our unlimited storage option. And, oh, Google, Why? Why are you this way? There were some inside rumors that Google was potentially just running out of storage space, which in my opinion, if that was even plausible, they probably shouldn't have offered this in the first place. Like, if you're not planning on even allowing 5 years worth of people backing up their photos and videos, then why even offer it at all if this was not that long-term of a plan? Maybe they just weren't expecting people on utilizing unlimited storage. It's kind of like a movie pass situation where they were like, hey, watch as many movies as you want, and then people start using the service and they're like, hey, wait a minute, this is expensive. That's pretty much what Google Photos went through. They're like, hey, you know what, everybody? Bring all your photos, bring all your videos here. We'll take them, we'll store them. Long-term storage, don't even worry about it. You can utilize our cool features and just back up as much as you want. So then people start backing up as much as they want. And Google's like, oh my God, you guys have so many photos and video. Oh, not that much. When we say unlimited, we were just assuming most of you have like 10 gigs worth. They weren't expecting people to be like, oh, so when you said store a lifetime worth of photos and videos, you meant 5 years? That's not a lifetime for most of us, Google. Just rewatching the event they had way back in 2015 where they announced that it would all be unlimited. That's literally the wording they chose. They were like, we want everybody to have a lifetime of photos and videos.
We want everyone to be able to safely back up and store a lifetime of memories.
And by lifetime, they meant 5 years, because maybe they just weren't expecting people to take this many videos and photos. And yes, the Pixel hardware gets to be exempt from this rule, but only today's Pixel hardware, which means that future generation Pixels even won't get unlimited storage. Today's Pixels will, but eventually those phones are going to stop getting updates, and that's probably what Google is counting on. Also, the number of people using Pixel phones is very small, so they're not really too worried about that. They're probably worried about the overwhelming number of people on iOS and Android that are just like, cool, store all our stuff, and they're seeing Apple get away with charging people so many dollars a month for iCloud storage. There's some of you out there who are literally just buying Apple One Premier so that you can have 4 terabytes of iCloud storage, and I just couldn't stand that. I know that it's convenient and it's simple, and with Apple it's probably way more secure, but I know that in time, you know, it didn't take me too long to reach a terabyte of iCloud storage. In time, I'm gonna fill up that 2 terabytes, and in time, you're probably gonna fill up 4 terabytes. It may not be this year, may not be next year, but it could be 5-10 years from now, and soon you're gonna end up having to go through a mountain of photos and videos yourself and delete a bunch of them, or download them and store them offline, or find some other cloud service, or Apple is going to increase their storage options but start charging you more. And I don't like my photos and my memories being stored behind a price like that. And basically it feels like companies are holding my memories for ransom, and it's like, well, you want to remember your childhood, right? You want to remember this vacation and all these family photos, you better keep paying for us or we're gonna delete it. I don't like the position that puts us in long term, because I don't plan on slowing down the number of photos and videos I take every day, and I know that probably 10, 20, 30 years from now, if we're all still alive and the world doesn't end like it feels like it's about to, then I'm gonna use up many terabytes worth of space, and Google Photos felt like a great solution that really solved all of my photo and video storage problems until now, which now, in case you're wondering, I have no clue what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to start buying more dedicated hard drives and just storing things locally, because I would rather have something that is bought and paid for outright instead of just paying monthly to access something. And I know drives can fail, so I may look into an NAS system or NAS. I don't know how you guys call it, but I don't really want something too big and bulky and expensive. I don't want to spend too much money on storing photos and videos. So I am open to suggestions. Feel free to let me know what you guys think I should do. But Google, you really screwed me up here. This really threw me off, because I really thought I had it all figured out. And I wish you wouldn't promise people a lifetime if you really only mean 5 years. And I am grateful for the 5 years we had. And I'm thankful that Google's not going to start erasing all of that storage, which, who knows, maybe in another 5 years they'll start saying, okay, you gotta download this crap, we're running out of space. But there are still technically other unlimited photo and video storage options. They just aren't really built that well for it. For one, you can post things on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. They will most likely be stored for the long haul. YouTube is a pretty reliable place to do it. You can upload 4K at 60 video. You can even upload 8K at 60 video now, and it's free. It doesn't cost anything. You could just leave it as unlisted. It would be pretty hard to sort through all of your memories, but there is a free way to do it. The very first YouTube video from 15 years ago ago is still uploaded to this day. So seems to be pretty reliable. And yes, there are some concerns of an apocalyptic situation where the cloud servers go out and we don't have access to those anymore. But frankly, there is just a likelihood of a hard drive failing or your NAS system running out of reliable drives. All kinds of things can go wrong, but feel free to let me know what you guys think I should do or what you guys are doing for long-term storage. I'd be very curious to see how you guys feel about it. Thank you all for watching. This is your Apple Sheep here, and I'll see you in the next one.